back to Sonic Central, everyone. Today I want to discuss something that was potentially cut from Sonic Frontiers. Unused content isn't exactly an abnormal thing in Sonic games and video games in general, and Sonic Frontiers is no different. We know Kronos Island was initially combined with the 4th and 5th islands at one point, but were later separated at some point during development, and there is some unused 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀 events as well. There's probably a lot more unused content in this game which I'm unaware of, but today I want to talk about something I noticed while I was using the theater mode mod by GordinRamsay. This mod allows you to view all the cutscenes in the game, change the weather, the time. It's great and it's really useful, and they recently updated this mod and it now allows you to view pretty much every animation in this game which takes place during gameplay. There are quite a few unused animations left over in this game which weren't utilized in the final product, but the files still remain within the game. There was one leftover animation I noticed which really stood out. If we go over to the animation viewer and navigate to the traversal tab, we can see a lot of in-game animations which occur with movements such as grinding and wall jumping. But if we go further on, we can see an unused slow walk animation. Now, Sonic does have a similar animation during gameplay when an enemy is nearby. Sonic is on guard during that time, but that animation looks like Sonic is about to fight. His fists are clenched and he looks quite angry, I guess. And that's what's different about this unused sneaking animation. The hand motions look like he's trying to take light steps, his movement is very slow, and he just generally looks like he wants to be as quiet as possible. And this animation is called Slow Walk. Whether the mod creator named it themselves or if the leftover animation is called that within the game files, I'm not quite sure. So this does bring up the question, is it possible that at some point during this game's development a stealth mechanic was considered? Stealth has been used in a Sonic game before. Sonic Heroes with 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗀, he can camouflage around enemies and it prevents them from being seen, but I don't think we've really seen a stealth system in a Sonic game since. I find this interesting for multiple reasons. If a stealth system was considered for this game, it would mean that a lot of the level design would have been designed around it, or with it in mind at least. There would be certain areas of this map where you don't want to be spotted, or certain enemies or guardians that you don't want spotting you, perhaps because you're under-leveled and don't want to challenge them yet. Or you could even maybe do a sneak attack from behind, and it might have done critical damage. Maybe there was a guardian or an enemy which can hear movement, and maybe there was a meter which fills up the more it hears you, and you sneak around it to prevent it from filling up. And if it does fill up, it does a powerful attack or it deploys enemies. Maybe there was a minigame where you had to sneak around various terrain and not get spotted by an AI or something, and if you are spotted, it takes away a life. Similar to the attempt system in the minigames we have in the final game. There are so many different ways it could have been implemented if this was a planned mechanic. It definitely is an interesting concept to think of in Sonic Frontiers, especially seeing as Sonic is obviously very fast in this game. And the thing is, you're not really at any disadvantage in this game when, an enemy is nearby, because you can simply run away or jump around them. And maybe this is something they did realize. But again, sneaking could have been used for, again, sneak attacks, which I think would still work in this game now. There are a few instances where you could do this with guardians such as Ninja, but the problem is, there's only a select few instances in the final game where I would find this mechanic useful. The map, enemies, and general gameplay, I feel would have had to be designed with the stealth in mind, and maybe they didn't want to do that. They probably wanted to keep this game as fast as possible, and that stealth would have been completely overshadowed by the speed aspect of this game, which is definitely understandable in a Sonic game of all things. I actually think this would have been an interesting mechanic to have in this game. Although again, it is hard to think of times in the final product where it would have been massively useful. Keep in mind, I'm not saying this is factual and that a stealth system was planned. This is merely a possibility based on that unused animation. If you made it this far into the video, I really do appreciate it, and definitely let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this unused animation was used for a possible stealth system, or something completely different? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.